Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss another literary term, and that is antithesis. And what is antithesis? It is a contrast or opposition in meaning. It is a contrast or opposition in meaning. It is emphasized by a parallel in grammatical structure. It is emphasized by a parallel in grammatical structure. So we can say that the paradox emphasizes the idea of contrast by parallel structures of the contrasted phrases or clauses. The structure of phrases and clauses are similar in order to draw the attention of the listener or the reader. For example, setting foot on the moon may be a small step for a man, but a giant step for mankind. What does it mean? The idea of the use of contrasting idea, for example, a small step and a giant step, in the sentence emphasizes the significance of one of the biggest landmark of human history. So there is a contradiction in a sentence, a small step and a giant step. It was a small step for a man, but a giant step for all mankind, because it gave way to many scientific discoveries. Some famous and common antithetical statements are like this. You must come have across these things. Man proposes, God disposes. So there is a contradiction. Man proposes, God disposes. For example, they look at speech is silver, but silence is gold. So there is contradiction. Speech is silver, but silence is gold. Patience is bitter, but it has a sweet fruit. Patience is bitter, but it has a sweet fruit. Give every man the ear, but few thy voice. So these are very commonly used antithetical statements. Now, when we take an example from our literature, for example, the famous novel of Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. In the beginning of that novel, he presents unforgettable antithetical sentences. For example, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. Look at the contradictions. It was the epoch of belief. Epoch means the particular period of time in history. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity, which cannot be believed. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing all over. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way. So look at, there are so many antithetical sentences in the opening of this novel. The contrasting ideas set in parallel structure markedly highlight the conflict that existed in the time discussed in the novel. So the writer was discussing the age of turbulent time. So he begins his writing, his novel beginning with all these kind of antithetical statements. So there is also Other examples, antithetical examples from, you can say that John, Samuel Johnson's book, there is a famous book of Samuel Johnson's Rasilas, in which he has written, he has pointed out, marriage has many pain, but celibacy has no pleasure. Celibacy means being single, not married. Marriage has many pain, but celibacy has no pleasure. Similarly, Alexander Pope points out in his book, willing to wound and yet afraid to strike. So, how could it be possible that when you are going to attack or when you are going to wound someone and you are hesitating to take to strike him? So, how could this happen? How can you achieve your target? So, this is antithetical. Antithetical means it is a contrast or a position in meaning. It is emphasized by a parallel in grammatical structure. I hope that you have got this term. Thank you.